Hi everyone, my name is Mikey, and this is the Retro Game Sound Test. Today, we're talking about Furniss. Yeah, that's the joke we're going with. Still, hope you enjoy the show.
It was the year 1988, and the world was getting rickrolled for the very first time while shaking it to Debbie Gibson. That doesn't sound right. Denim jacket and stonewashed jean-clad teenagers flooded the arcades to get their chance to dump quarters into the latest arcade game craze. Okay, so maybe a fail horn for Tubin is a little harsh. It's a fun game. Two-player head-to-head play that sends players down a river on an inner tube, throwing Coke cans at each other. Whoever heard of that? This game is so innovative that the controls are just 5 well-placed buttons, no joystick, just like all the best games. Arcade-to-home console conversions were king throughout the 80s, and Tubin was no exception. So when Atari Games' own Tengen contacted Domark to do the conversion of Tubin for the Amiga and Atari ST, they contacted Sean Hollingworth of Tech Software, which later on became Chrysalis Software. Along with Sean was his protege, Matt Furniss, to take over the music and sound effects duties. Born in Sheffield, UK, Matt got his start by sending out demo tapes of his compositions from the Commodore 64 and Amiga, and landed his first job at the tender age of 16. And here's another of his earliest compositions from the Commodore Amiga. 14 years before Tube Slider was actually a thing, Atari's original tube sliding game got its own Matt Furniss oral treatment when it came home to the Amiga, even though this title was never really known for its soundtrack. Matt composed his first console soundtrack when he was just 18 years old with Sega Chess for the Sega Master System. He sure was more productive than I was when I was 18. The Terminator made an appearance on the Sega Genesis in multiple forms from different developers and publishers. The Terminator for Sega CD from Virgin had music composed by game composer / rockstar Tommy Tallarico, who's well known for his video games live concert series. Also, ever notice how Tommy Tallarico kinda looks like Barry Goldberg? Weird. And while there was also a pair of games based on Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the one we're actually interested in is based on the original movie with music composed by our guy. fantastic as the music in Terminator is, there's still one soundtrack that stands out above the rest. Oh, Alien 3 for the Sega Genesis. No other licensed game at the time came so close to capturing the dark, desolate, domineering, and desperate atmosphere of the original source material, while at the same time completely ignoring the movie's storyline. It really is a work of art how inaccurately accurate this title really is. But when your whole plot revolves around a single xenomorph, one dead facehugger, and 145 minutes of mostly spatula-flat dialogue, some liberties probably should be taken. Developed by UK-based Probe Entertainment and published by Acclaim Entertainment, or whatever other aliases they decided to give themselves at the time, Alien 3 crash-landed on the Genesis, NES, and SNES. And I do intend to cover those at some point.
But that's another show.
Fast and Frenetic is the name of the game in Wiz & Liz. Actually, Wiz & Liz, the Frantic Wabbit Rescue is the name of the game, but you know what I mean. The game takes place on the planet Pum, where your wabbits have been disappeared by a spell gone wrong, and it's up to Wiz & Liz to bring them back home safely while working against the clock. And while you're frantically freeing wabbits, you must also collect letters to spell words like bluet, and pintle, and, diddle? Wait a minute, isn't this a kid's game? Well, it's a good thing this is a Genesis game, because gameplay is so fast it needs blast processing! And of course, some tunes that keep up with the pace. This happy little rotund dude is Puggsy, and he got his start in the Amiga demo scene in 1990 with a demo called Pugs in Space, which ironically takes place mostly on Earth. Then, in 1993, the rights to the Puggsy character were bought out, and he became the star of one of the earliest physics-based platformers created by Psygnosis in Traveler's Tales, in what must have started as a battle over which team had the coolest logo. I don't know, I'm pretty sure that owl would swallow that rat thing up for dinner.
Well, that's all we've got for today's edition of the Retro Game Sound Test, but don't worry, I have plenty more shows planned. So if you like what you see, hit me up in comments below. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, maybe something you'd like to see in a future episode, maybe accidentally hit that subscribe button. I don't know. But most of all, thank you for watching the Retro Game Sound Test. Furniss.